Hello and welcome to the Manufacturing Culture Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, gear up for a thrilling ride as we welcome a man who's been pedaling his way through the manufacturing world, creating new paths and reaching incredible heights. I'm your host, Jim Mayer, and join us as we chat with Matt Guse, the president of M.R.S. Machining Co., a company that has transformed itself from a humble garage startup to one of the top 10 machine shops in the nation. Hold on tight as we explore Matt's journey in the manufacturing industry, spanning over 35 years of dedication and innovation, including 2 cutting-edge patents to his name. But wait, there's more. Not only is Matt a manufacturing maestro, but he's also a community hero, serving on his local school board, the Chippewa Valley Technical College Machine Tool Advisory Board, and even helping to launch Cardinal Manufacturing at the Leva Strum School. And when he's not busy with all that, Matt's passion for sports shines through as a licensed official for both football and basketball. Did we mention his love for cycling? This pedal pushing powerhouse has successfully cycled up Pikes Peak to an elevation of 14,115 feet and put over 9,000 miles on his bike in just 1 year. So snap into your pedal, folks, as we dive into an exhilarating conversation with the one and only Matt Guse on this episode of the Manufacturing Culture Podcast. Hey, Matt, how are you doing today? Happy Friday.
Wow, Jim, I have to hire you as my technical writer. That's amazing.
Anytime. I accept all offers and all jobs that come my way. So if you need a writer, I'm here for it.
Well, thanks for having me on. It's going to be kind of hard to beat that, but I'm excited. I'm excited to be here.
We're excited to have you, Matt. You had reached out to me via LinkedIn. We had a couple of conversations about your take on culture, your company. I thought that you're a great fit for the show. So I'm really excited to have you on today. I'm excited to have a bit of a further conversation and see where we go on this journey today.
Yeah, I listened to several of your podcasts, and some of them guests you've had on there are amazing. That's good. It would be a high task to beat some of them guys, but thank you for putting this on. It's wonderful.
Absolutely, we're gonna have a lot of fun today, Matt. We're gonna have a lot of fun. So, before we dive into the cultural side of and your cultural journey, talk to us about M.R.S. Machining. What do you do? How many people do you have? Where are you located? Give us the overview of M.R.S.
Yeah, well, we're located in Northwest Wisconsin. To be honest, we're in a bunch of between some cornfields and some woods and forests and a few lakes and rivers and
sounds like a beautiful place.
It is a wonderful place. We actually, to do some recruiting, we shot some videos so people get kind of a feel of what it's like up here.
Right.
We're basically, I like to tell people we're like a grocery store for machining. We don't make thousands of something. We don't make a product that lasts for 3 years. We just make things to print when someone's in need. We're not a high volume. We're short run. I say 50 pieces or less is our niche. Okay. We make round parts with side features.
Interesting. Okay. And how many people do you have there?
We're at about 50 or over. It's 50. I think right now we're at 51 or 52. But then we got some part-time. Got about 5 or 6 part-time people.
Awesome.
Come and go.
Awesome. So, tell us about the history of M.R.S. It's been a company that's been around for a while. It sounds like. When was the company started, and what was your entrance into the organization?
So this is our 37th year in business, and we started in 1986. My dad started in high school.
Okay.
When I was in high school, senior in high school, and we kind of got in this machining business by accident. It wasn't planned, and there was no business plans. It was just like My dad worked at a shop. Actually, the building we're in today closed up, and they just asked my dad about taking some material and putting it in his garage, and asked if he could machine it. And we never even thought about starting a business. Just helping the customer, my dad's friends out, and we naturally evolved into this machining thing, I call it.
Wow.
So, well, yeah, I got lot of life lessons. I'm taking notes. That's why I like doing podcasts, so I can come back. I'm writing a book
Are you?
someday.
Okay.
Yes, I'm a Machine Shop 101, how to fail and be successful.
I'd love it. How to fail forward, right?
Yeah.
All right. I love it. I love it. That's awesome. Keep me posted as you go through that process. It's something that's always tickled my fancy, but I don't necessarily think I have the patience to write a book. So tell us about the culture when you started. I mean, if it's been around 37 years, you've been part of the organization pretty much from the beginning, it sounds like. Tell us about the culture when you first started hiring employees outside of the family, right? And what was the cultural journey like to present day?
30 years ago, society was a whole lot different then than
Yeah.
what it is today. When we started hiring people, it just kind of naturally evolved. We just looked for people. We didn't, like I said, I was a machinist, and I looked for people that had the same kind of characteristics to me. I was always looking for a skill. Can you make this? Can you read this? Really wasn't looking for, later down the road. It was just a kind of a reactionary. Our customers got busy. We got machines, and we just hired people. That's the way we did it. Nowadays, it's a whole lot different.
Sure.
Starting out, it was more like people were trying to sell themselves to come work for us. And nowadays it's just reverse, where we have to go out and sell ourselves to come work for us.
Yeah.
It's just that's the biggest change I've seen in the last 30 years.
Yeah, I can see that. I was just in a conversation about that very concept yesterday with somebody, and we were talking about different generations of employees, and he brought up the fact that 30 years ago, trying to find employees was a lot easier, and now there's just so many shops, he believed, that people can go anywhere and find a job. So it's really up to the employer, like you said, to market to the employees or the potential candidates.
Yeah, so I've learned a few things through that. And from back then, it's pretty much, it was just nice to sit back and hear the potential team member come to you and sell themselves, and it was your choice. But the things today in society that it's young people and some adults, you have to be you have to be a leader. You have to show you're a leader. You have to stay in your lives, and
Mm-hmm.
that's because everybody's there's so many broken homes. Back in, I think, in the 90s, there was 80% or 70% of marriages lasted. Now people get married, and I think it's like a 40-50% retain. So these broken homes, and there's I mean, you didn't hear of drug problems back in the late 80s or early 90s. Now there's all that stuff going on. So people want attention, and they want to be lifted up
Yeah.
and show you care.
Yeah. I I hear that. I hear that. So through this cultural journey that you've been on, and this change in how you recruit, and how people find you or you find them, where would you say your culture is now, Matt?
I think we have a wonderful culture. I always tell people three things when they are here, the people that are here and the people that we hired. Three things. You want to be here. I want you here. We're going to have fun.
I like it.
And
It's very simple, but I like it a lot.
simple. Yeah, that's very, that's simple is the key too. So when any of those things change, and everybody has a bad day or two or three, if it gets to be longer than a week, we have to talk about it. And 99% of the time we talk about it, it's cleared up. it's someone said or something outside of life that they're coming in here that you can
Sure.
help them with. And you just have to talk. Communication, that's the big thing, today. It just seems like communication, cell phones or emails, and it's nothing face to face and personal.
Yeah.
There's three things. When I go to high schools, I call it the three things to successful life and careers, and I have about 12 different things of threes. A conversation is really three things. It's the first part is 7% of it's like words, texting. I can call you every name in the book, Jim, and it
Yep.
ain't gonna bother me because I just sent the text.
Yep.
And then you got the phone call. We can call somebody. It's a little harder to say something bad to them, but you really can't get that energy and that 70% of like meeting face to face.
Yeah.
That's the key to a conversation because you see facial expressions. You can read energy off each other.
And I mean, personal transparency, I'm much more of an effective communicator in person because of that energy, because of the fact that I talk with my hands. I'm a very animated person. What I'm finding is that doesn't translate for me through text or email, or even sometimes through voice and audio conversations, or even sometimes video chats. I'm not as an effective of a communicator as I am. So that's a great point. So what do you do, Matt, at M.R.S. to encourage communication amongst your team?
Um, I personally walk the floor every morning in first, second shift,
Yeah,
and good or bad, you hear good things, you hear bad things,
yeah,
and if someone's struggling with a problem, I go find a solution for it or help them find a solution for
yeah.
it. Personally and professionally here, that's if someone's struggling or somebody heard something, or if my QC manager is struggling with something, I go up and talk to the sales team. So I'm
Sure,
just kind of that in between person. And we have a lot of tools in our ERP system. We have computers in all our shop floors that, and then everybody, of course, everybody has cell phones, but we use the internal stuff to communicate back and forth, and then also we get a record of it, and it's in our ERP system. It's
sure.
something we made. It's something we made here, homemade. We have a lot of homemade stuff, I call it here, because you can't buy the stuff you're looking for.
Right, right. Um, so, Matt, where do you want to get the culture of MRS to? Is there a goal in mind, a cultural goal that you have?
Yeah, I want to be the place to come work. I
Got
want
it.
I want to be the shining star in the community. I want to be the shining star in the state, and I want to be the shining star nationally. You know,
Yeah. So what kind of steps are you taking? And usually at the end we talk about three initiatives, and so I don't want to spoil any of that at the end. But what kind of things are you implementing or thinking about implementing to get you to that point?
one of them, like I said, the biggest recruiters for me, for MRS, is our
Mm.
employees.
Yeah.
I mean, most of our people that come work here are someone that is working here and has a friend or knows a friend or has a cousin or relative, and they just start talking about, we do this, we do that. And so that's probably step one.
Sure.
Step two is just getting, other colleges and schools, and we're really pretty deeply into that. I work with we work with a lot of high schools in our community. I can't think, I don't, there's at least probably a dozen of them we work with. And I know we all know the guidance counselors and the principals,
Hmm.
and we go to other career fairs. We invite them in here. So, and we hand them T-shirts. We don't hand hats because they can't wear hats in school. And and so now we got, I even give the bus driver, the teachers, T-shirts.
That's
It's two,
awesome.
$3. Yeah. So now everybody's like next day wearing MRS machining shirts in school, and then they snap pictures on Facebook and all that stuff. So now you got everybody in the community in the area, and they know who MRS is, and then they start checking your websites out, and they start listening to podcasts, or So that's probably stage two. I think stage three is we have to get maybe, I don't know, maybe more of the government, state people involved, start talking about us,
Hmm.
and so that's kind of where I want to get to.
Sure.
I want to be the shining star.
I get that. Um, uh, so, how do you think your father's vision, values have shaped the culture of MRS through the growth and evolution of the company over the last 37 years?
My I don't know if I told you that, but my father's not here no more.
Oh, I'm sorry, I did not know that.
No, no, we're all good. It's part of life, and you can sit there and dwell on it, and but it just have to move on.
Yeah.
I love my dad to death. Me and my dad are best friends. He was given 2 years to live, so I was very thankful that we had time to plan. We
Okay.
got to say our goodbyes. We got to plan the vision for M.R.S. and what we're going to do. But after it hits, then it really hits. You can prepare for it, but it didn't. It hit me. It hit me hard, and
I'm
it,
sure.
I couldn't walk in this place for 3 months, and
Yeah.
that's when I knew that's the people here. That's when I knew I had to do something.
Yeah.
So out of that, my dad always wanted to give back to the people. We looked at an e-stop. We looked at employee owned and all that, and that just didn't work for him at the time. Didn't work for me. So I just told him that I just said, hey, I want to give 40% of the profits back to the people here. And I
Yeah.
want them to feel like this place is just as much theirs as it is mine. And that's where the culture thing kind of truly took off. And we do that today. Today is going to be a great day at M.R.S. We're handing out bonus checks. We've had a really good year. We've had really, really, really good years. And so we do it twice a year now. And so today is the day. And I
Today's
got
bonus day. That's awesome.
today's bonus day Friday. So that's the most enjoyable thing of being a business owner.
Yeah.
I have to say, walking around handing someone some $1,000 checks or more is nothing more thrilling than that. I mean, you can't even. I'd rather do that than win the lottery. I mean, that's how much it means to me.
Well, in essence, it's winning the lottery for your soul, right? I mean, it
Yeah.
may not be a tangible physical uh, win as far as monetary for you, but it sounds like that fills up your tank and keeps you going.
Yep. I've been very blessed. God's been good to us, and then we just like to pass that on to everybody.
That's great. So it sounds like uh, you've built this foundation for MRS of having a strong company culture, and that it's important to you to maintain that moving forward. Tell us some stories about the culture and the people that you have there.
Oh boy, how much time do we got?
As much as you
First,
want, buddy.
First, I'm gonna go back. It's not I. It's we. You know, I hire people smarter than me, Jim,
Yeah.
and I just kind of get out of the way and let them just roll with it. And if there's a problem, they usually come to me. Seems like when I always leave, the things get a lot better. Seems like more gets out the door and more work comes in, and I'm just like, maybe I should stay away more often. But you know, some of those things will be done, and people take notice in it, and everybody's always looking out for each other.
Yeah.
I can just some two recent ones in the last month that are fresh in my mind, and there's several others. Uh, so I work with these high schools, and there's the one teacher over here at Cardinal says, "Hey, I got a guy that's been in a really rough situation." And I said, "Well, how rough?" He goes, "Pretty rough." And I go, "Okay, can I bring him over for a job shot?" And he goes, "Okay, come on over." Well, anyways, his mom was is a meth head, and so she has nothing to do with her son. And his
Mm.
dad overdosed on drugs as a kid.
Oh man.
He's 18 years old. He's been living by himself in an apartment since he's been a freshman in high school. And I think of that, just a freshman, and he was going down the wrong path. That's probably the only time I'll say this, but he met a girl that changed his life around.
Wow.
So here he comes over here, and he starts talking to our people and he starts telling about his problems. And I have guys in my office and, in tears. And I'm like, okay, we're going to get this guy in here. We're going to give him a chance, and we're going to show him. And this guy just like thinks he just won the lottery. So
Yeah.
he's in here now working, and just a great guy. It's just doing a wonderful job for us. That's one of the things we do. And then, you know, current employees and or team members, I should say. I don't think nobody's an employee here. They're part of the team,
I love it.
and they start seeing that, and they start telling their friends. So then they're all. If he does that for them, what's he going to do for me if I get in trouble?
Yeah.
That just spreads. That spirit just spreads. And you walk downtown and you see somebody and say, "Hey, we hear the story about blah blah blah," and they're like, "Yeah, that's true." And so them are the kind of things we do. And we because people have a lot of my best employees are the ones that went out in life and just failed at it. They went to a college, or they went to a career that were promised big green pastures, and it just never worked out. And they come
Yeah.
in here and they can just take ownership of themselves. It just do a little thing. Something little is much more important than something big.
Yeah. I love it.
So, and I tell people that it's everybody comes in here. Some people come in here and watch hourly wage. I don't get into the hourly. We do pay an hourly wage. Don't get me wrong, but I look more for the benefits. Got to kind of sell that on them. But I tell them that, to be honest with you, there's people out there that I know are really wealthy. I mean, like really wealthy. They're the most unhappy people I know. And people that live paycheck every week, paycheck, they're the most happy people.
Yeah.
And so don't always make money the factor. Make make life fun, and you got to get out of bed in the morning and be able to. That's another thing I do. I tell kids that when you get up every morning and you tie your shoes, think of something positive.
Yeah.
Because if you think of something negative, you're gonna have a negative day. If you think of something positive, you're gonna have a positive day. So something to.
Yeah. I live life with the mindset of surround yourself with positive people and positive things will happen. So it sounds like you're sharing that kind of a message out there as well.
Yep, and I always tell my people when they go to the gas station, our team members, they go to the gas station, just say hello.
Yep.
Say hello, hi. That's all you gotta do. Just smile and say hello. Because I always tell them, if you do good things to other people, other things will happen good to you. And just a simple smile could change someone's life. You don't know. Will never know, but you never know.
Yeah.
And so that's part of our culture. We have fun here at M.R.S, but we also try to spread that good things out in the community.
Yeah. I love it. Matt, you said something earlier that I want to go back to. You said that you hire people smarter than you, and in every leadership position I've ever had, that's always been my mindset. I know my skill set. I'm very self-aware of what I'm good at, and it's not much. But what I am good at is building teams and motivating people. So when I've hired, I always look for people who are smarter than me that can do the job, and then work on building the strategy so that they can do what they do. And I, to your point, get out of the way. Talk to us about your leadership team at M.R.S, how you've built that, who the people are, and how they're able to function at a high level there.
Yeah, so leadership's been teaching that is something that's hard to do, but you just kind of learn on the fly or on the trade as you work into it.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I tell people, when they kids or adults or people that are going to, before they get married or meet a girl or guy or whatever, date them for 1 year.
Yeah.
And they kind of look at me kind of funny. Why 1 year? I said, because you go through all the seasons. every season is a different feeling.
Yeah.
Spring you feel refreshed, in summer you feel hot, in the fall you feel cool down and exciting, and in the winter you feel kind of depressed.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we do here. We have to get someone here a year, and we make sure it's all a good fit and everything. But some of my team members, the lady that's in my sales department, she came into, this is back in, I think she's 27 years now. She came in to use our fax machine one day. She lost her job, and I was sitting there, and she was going to put her resume in my fax, and I looked at it, and I knew who she was, and I just crumbled it up and threw it in the garbage can. She got mad at me. What are you doing that for? I said, you start tomorrow. I don't know anything about this.
I love it. That's awesome.
But I knew she had good characteristics. I know she grew up on a farm. I knew she cared for people, that's all I needed to know. And I knew she was pretty smart. And today, she's probably like materials. She can tell you every recipe of material. She knows what sulfur is. She knows what anything is in that batch of material, the tensile strength, anything. She's a whiz on it. And
Really?
she just soft taught herself that. And then actually some of the material suppliers actually called her and all, hey Cindy, I got this project from this customer, and what can we use this for this or use for that? And she hasn't got no degree in engineering material. She just learned it on herself. So, you know, those are that's kind of like a diamond in the rough, you know. And
Yeah.
then, we have a lot of women that were working here, and that's kind of another reason, well, that M.R.S. Machining doesn't, it stands for a woman-owned company, actually. That's what we started
Okay.
out with. Yeah, we started out. My mom was the president because we were going to get in the government work, and that it didn't really materialize as like it should. But and it stands for lots of things now, and I could go. We have a lot of jokes, so that's what we say. We have a lot of fun here.
No, I now I'm interested because my company TCO Strategies, when I first came up with the name, right, TCO in manufacturing, total cost of ownership, but my kids weren't aware of that, and so they started calling it Taco Strategies. And so my name has for my consulting business has gone through a couple of evolutions, and there are a couple of jokes. I'm interested to hear what some of the ones about MRS are.
Well, I'll start out with the best one. Matt's
Okay.
really smart. Matt's really smart. Matt's really.
I like it. I like it. And that was employee driven, I hope, and not self driven.
Yeah, I've been self-driven.
That's even better. That's even better. Awesome. What's another
Um,
one?
um, well, the one my wife. Want to hear what the one my wife says?
Of course.
Some of the younger adults who are listening might want to plug their ears, but Matt's really sexy.
Hey, it happens within your relationship. I don't think that's a bad thing at all. And
Well,
we're not airing in elementary schools. I do know of a couple of technical schools that listen to the podcast. So students, that's what happens when adults are together. No, I love it. That's great. Matt, so your employees are obviously one of your most valued assets that you have there, right? And you use them to help you, do the recruiting. How else do you involve them in shaping the company culture? Do you sit and meet and talk about mission and vision and values on a regular basis? Talk to us about that process.
yeah. So we do some things that pretty much everybody else does, but we're an open book policy here. So every week we have our meeting production. We call them production meetings, and
Mm-hmm.
every key member gets to speak on behalf of what they're doing and what they see and how we can get better. And we all have little goals each week. Actually, if you're alive right here, I have a bottle of bourbon on my desk because
Really?
I motivate our sales team. I got this bottle of bourbon on my desk, and I said, when you get your first $490,000 order on a PO, we're going to open that baby up and we're going to have a little toast.
I love it.
Just some little motivational factors. So
Yep.
everybody gets to speak troubles, and then we all sit there and we just try to help each other get. Okay, this is how I think it, how we should handle it, and how we should do it. And then we have numbers. We have weekly goals, but we have monthly goals mostly. We have quarter goals, and then we have yearly and a 3 and a 5 year plan. And then every month we have a cookout here at M.R.S. first and second shift. We'll cater it in. We'll just we'll have a taco month. We'll have a pizza month. We'll have a hamburger month, a steak month, and everybody takes turn cooking, organizing it.
That's
And then
great.
we have a 20-minute meeting with the whole team. Everybody gets together. First, second shift comes in, and we go over the numbers. And here's where we're at. Here's where we're going. Here's the problems. Here's the good things. Here's our customers. Here's our customers. Concentration. We don't have any customer here over 15%. We don't have any industry over 15% here. And we just, so they feel confident. They feel we're going strong. And, because you don't want to have your eggs in one basket and that customer pulls his work out and you just bought a house and or a truck payment and scared to lose your job tomorrow. So
Yep.
we keep that. That's where the communication thing comes in. People want to be just a part of something. And so they don't have that fear of that they have to worry about something they shouldn't. So,
wow. And I know this podcast is all about culture, but I love the industry. And it's wild to me that you don't have not only not one customer is more than 15%, but not one industry is more than 15%. Tell us about that process, just because I'm interested. I'm sure our listeners are interested in how you've been able to diversify so well.
Yep. So first of all, if you can't measure it, you can't manage it.
Sure.
So we have a lot of just natural measurements that we just do ourselves. Again, I hired a guy went to school for psychology, I think it is.
Okay.
Master's in psychology, and he's got some other degrees. And he was working at a place locally here in a service management position, and they, here's a guy that's really bright, and they just didn't give him time to grow, and they won't listen to his ideas, and somehow he joined our team, and he's just a metric guru, and he just like, it would take me hours to do, he can do like in minutes, and it's like he's my own AI guy,
That's awesome.
And so, I was going with that, but anyway, he just likes to push the metrics out.
No, we were talking about diversification and
Yeah.
key metrics and things of that nature.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah. So, anyways, he'll measure that, and then that's probably the hardest challenge is try to stay diversified in each industry.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll just talk to our customers, or we don't advertise here. It's all word of mouth.
Sure.
And just customers leaving customers, but no, we look at those numbers quarterly, and if we're getting a little high in aerospace, we're getting a little high in power generation, then we'll have to call some of our other customers that aren't in that industry and say, hey, do you got anything for us? Can we do something better? Is there any projects? And we communicate with our customers.
Yeah.
That's really I guess that's the key. And when we take on new customers, we look at them very seriously, because number one, why are they looking? Okay, because maybe they're not paying their bills, or maybe they're just not very nice to deal with. So it's just like a marriage, you have to get. So when we do decide to take on a new customer, we look at the industry. We start small, we think big, and we move fast.
Yeah.
That's what I tell everybody. I use that all the time in everything. Start small or think big. Start small, move fast.
I love it.
I kind of steal that from a friend of mine who up at that we do it, and then we speak to high schools.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's really how we do it. It's not rocket scientists.
So how do you create your metrics? Are they built through a strategic planning session for the year? How do you come up with what metrics you're going to track, and how they fit to the vision and the mission of the organization?
So we have, we're ISO certified here, and we have our annual ISO meeting, and we do our SWOT analysis.
Mm-hmm.
And as we go through our SWOT analysis, we create all these metrics, and then I bring Joe in, who's he has all the metrics. And we do it through our ERP system.
Okay.
But we tailor-made some of that from our ERP system. We kind of tailor-made some of that, so it tracked it for us. And like our customer, we'll label them as a customer, like our number of their abbreviations, but then we also label them as what industry they're in. So then it just automatically creates a spreadsheet for us.
That's amazing.
So it's really cool.
And that way, everybody, since you track it through your ERP system, everybody's on the same page as far as status is concerned when it comes to the metrics, right?
Correct. Yeah, they can pull it up anytime.
That's great. What ERP system are you using, Matt?
We call it's Job Boss.
Okay. Yeah.
But the tailor-made stuff that we made to it is really cool. And
That's
I did
great.
nothing. That's nothing I did. They done it. like crystal reports and stuff. I'm not a computer guru, but they somehow integrated it all. And there again, we all talk. Our weekly meetings. Mary Ann's our scheduler. There's another lady I went to school for. She went to school for business. She does all our scheduling. She's never really she doesn't know anything about machining, but she's got enough common sense to go out on the floor and ask somebody and figure it out herself. And that's another thing, figure it out yourself. And she just figures it out. She guides her, oversees our saw department. She'll go down, and that's another thing we do. So everybody that's in their area, we get them out of their comfort zone, and they have to go into someone else's area and play around.
Yeah.
That come out of our SWAT meetings, threats, areas, and weaknesses. So one of our threats were we didn't have a backup, and so when someone's gone on vacation, we really didn't have a backup. So I just wanted everybody. I want to have a backup for every position here. So if someone leaves or someone retires or whatever, there's a person a backup.
Yeah.
And I guess that came from our machines. We're 100% Mazak here. And I always bought one machine. Every time I bought one machine, I always knew I had to buy another one for a backup.
Wow. Okay. I like it.
Just like, yeah. So on Saturdays in the winter or whenever, Mary Ann or Cindy or whoever, Kim or GM, they go out and run a machine. They make parts and they learn how to check them. They learn how to, they learn what a cutter is. They learn they learn that. And, so that's kind of that's what we do. We're all trying to get not great at everybody's job, but just have an idea of each other's job. So when we're talking with each other, we understand each other.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. So Matt, you told us about your a little bit about the outreach you do with schools, and the fact that you give everybody from students to bus drivers and everybody in between an M.R.S. shirt. Talk to us a little bit more about your community involvement, whether that's being an official for sporting events, being part of the boards, the technical college. Talk to us about that involvement and how it's helping shape that culture at M.R.S.
I'll start with the sports officiating is the reason I got into it. I was kind of a middle school coach, and then we could never find officials. And
so, I hear that. I feel that pain point in my core. Continue.
So when my son was a freshman in high school, I said, "Oh, I'll give this officiating thing a try." And that's when everything in life I try to revolves around an issue or problem I ran into that make me better. So my very first game I ever officiated, I never had a mentor. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I thought this is easy. You just stand out there and you throw a flag and it's easy. Well, the game ended with a coach coming running at me, calling me every name in the book.
No kidding.
And yeah, so I went home that night. Sat down. My wife said, "What's the matter?" I said, "I'm done officiating." She said, "Why?" And I told her, and she goes, "I think you need to give it one more game."
Okay.
And find somebody, and we'll find somebody that will help you and lead you. So happens our insurance agent was a football official. So we gave him a call. We gave him a call, and he helped me out and walked me through it. And here I am today. I'm a collegiate football official. And once I started doing this, I started thinking, you know what? This is kind of a good way to get into high schools, because I had trouble getting into high schools back then.
Okay.
You call the guidance counselor, you call the teacher, the principal, and you never hear back. They're busy. And
yeah.
Well, then I started seeing these kids on the field, and I'm like, man, that kid's got some really good sportsmanship. He'll pick the ball up and give it to you, say thank you, Mr. Official. He can see leadership when his kid's being a jerk. He'll come over and knock it off, and we'll sit on the bench. And I'll bring, those are the guys I want out in the industry working. And
yeah.
And then you go to the head coach and, hey, coach, can I come talk to your kids tomorrow want to learn about rules? Well, and some leadership skills? Well, what coach in America doesn't want to hear that? So now you're in the back door. And so you're spraying some rules and, hey, guys, what are you guys doing after school? What are your career plans? And you ever think about manufacturing? And, that's how you get creative. And
wow.
So
that's really neat. I had no idea it was at the collegiate level, Matt. I mean, I read the bio you sent. I rewrote it. I didn't know it was at the collegiate level. So you do high school and collegiate?
Yep, I do high school. football, I do college football, and then I do high school basketball.
Wow. That's pretty neat. And then you get to build those relationships there with the students as well.
Exactly, and that's another reason I got in the school board is because of that. You have to get out of your comfort zone, and you have to, everybody sits there and complains I can't find help, skilled help, and I'm just sitting there going, I don't know what you got. I feel like I'm lying now and telling this big story or fib, but you, we don't have a problem finding help. We don't,
Right.
the skilled help, yeah, it's 10 years, 15-year person, but the culture's here, and it's just like you get every, and then just it's not me, it's everybody here,
Yeah.
and it's just you got to leave your building.
Yeah.
Those people just sit in their building and go to their building and say, hey, you're important to me because whatever they're doing, and how would you like to come to my building and see what we do?
Yeah.
And oh, by the way, I'll buy you dinner.
Ah.
And everybody says, why do you give these T-shirts out? And I even pay for the bus trip sometimes to the schools or people that come in here. I give them a dinner just for coming.
Yeah.
Well, that's a lot of money. I said, well, okay. Maybe at the worst case scenario, it cost me $300.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I get for a return off an employee here a year off of sales? I mean,
What?
for every employee that I have here, I average about $320,000 in sales.
Wow, that's impressive.
So you're telling me a little $300 investment?
Right.
That's nothing.
Yep.
And that's like pennies. So that's how I look at it, and
Smart.
because every person that you hire, it costs you roughly around $10,000. So that's why you have to that's why you have to dig into it a little bit. You just can't hire somebody and then train them, and then 3 or 4 months later they leave because now you threw a lot of money out the door with it.
Yeah. So tell us about Cardinal Manufacturing and the startup there.
Well, now that's my happy place.
All right. We've heard a lot of happy places. So if this is the defined happy place, let's hear it.
So I met Craig Krakowski down in IMTS down in Chicago. All good things happen in IMTS.
Absolutely.
That's my promotional. So, when you meet somebody, I have a natural ability within a minute. I can tell. I don't know what it is. I don't know how. I can't even explain it. But it's maybe my natural talent. I can tell if the person is decent, it's cool, good, or there's a spark plug.
Yeah.
Well, I met Craig Krakowski, and I don't think it was 10 seconds into the conversation. Wherever this guy's going, I'm getting on his bandwagon.
Really? Okay.
So he's telling me about he's a tech ed teacher, and he wants to start a student-run business in the high school, and he wanted to know if I would be interested. And I was like, Craig, when you get back to wherever your job is, come and take a tour of M.R.S. About 6 months later, he calls me. He says, hey, I'm going to be a tech ed teacher in Leverstrom. Could I come talk to you? Sure, come talk to me. And I tried starting a schooling here myself. Me and my dad did,
mm-hmm.
and I failed at it.
Okay.
The 3 F's. I'm going to go back to my 3 things. The 3 F's: fail fast, fix fast, and forget fast. And
I like
that's
it.
That's another conversation.
Yep.
But anyway, so I failed, and I wanted to fix it fast. And I wanted to forget about it. So the fail fast was we tried ourselves. I wanted to fix it. Craig's a fix. And I'm going to forget about all the mistakes I made while I did mine. So, so Craig came over here and he's like, hey, I'm starting to leave a strom. I got a shop, and I might need some stuff. And then my dad was here, and my dad always says one hand's for giving and one hand's for receiving. Well, that day he had his hand out for giving.
Okay.
He says, Craig, I'm going to give you a little CNC turning center. I'm going to give you a little CNC mill, and I'll give you a saw. And I was like, Dad, we got the cart in front of the horse here. Hold on. And Craig says, I love it, Roger. I love it. I'll take it. I'll take it. But just can I have a year or two to get my shop cleaned up? So he cleaned it up, and in his stories of Craig about that. But anyways, he started a student-run business, and we focus on machining and welding. Well, that's all music to my ears.
Yeah.
And today, I could go on and on, but today we don't so much teach the hard skills over there anymore. We teach soft skills.
Yeah.
And these kids come out of that program, it's everything we need in America today, soft skills. They don't teach soft skills in high schools anymore. They should, but we need another year of literature, but whatever. But these kids come out of here, they'll shake your hand, they'll be well dressed, they'll be very polite, they'll show up for work in time. And if there's anybody that comes in anybody's business, shop or whatever, and they say they went through Cardinal Manufacturing, your next words out of your mouth better be, when can you start? Because you're going to have a superstar. And so if you can't teach you don't got the soft skills, you can't teach the hard skills.
Sure.
So we get the soft skills taught there, and we start teaching some hard skills. I mean, they're really like running their own business over there.
That's awesome.
Well, the first bottleneck was everybody, they're going to run you out of business, Matt, you're the competitor. Well, if I'm threatened by a bunch of high school kids with 100% turnover that work 2 hours a day, I got other problems.
Absolutely.
So no, so we just started this, and like you said, the spirit, like the M.R.S. spirit, we call it, the cardinal spirit, just started carrying on. And our schools wanted to see this because we're having such good results with their, so these kids started getting hired in all our communities.
Yeah.
And these companies are like, wow, this is great. So they started buying in. Craig's probably received millions of dollars of donations, and Wednesday night we had an open house. We had 1,500 people there. The place was packed. And you go on my LinkedIn, you'll see a little video of it.
Yeah.
And now other schools started. Then we started having calls. So then we started workshops. So we invite all these high schools and other businesses in. We teach them what we're doing. And so we have the kids in there. We have the teachers, administration. We have business partners coming there like me. They get to meet the kids. They get to see the thing live, and then they can go to their schools and try it. We actually wrote a book on it now. I can send anybody that want a free book. The Koch Foundation came in and seen it. They wanted to invest in it.
Wow.
We started a student-run business, a forum now. I think there's 12. I know there's probably over 25, 30 of these other programs in the state, the nation. Eagle Manufacturing down in Nashville, Indiana.
Yeah.
Chris is an amazing teacher, doing amazing things. Tiger Manufacturing up in Webster, Wisconsin, another amazing guy. But you know what the problem is when they're schools today? The tech ed teacher's only making $50,000 a year. So when they hired Craig, and me being on a school board, me being a little nosy and knows how the system works, I go to the school board president one day and I said, "What are you paying Craig?" Well, I'll have to talk to the superintendent. The superintendent goes, "Well, we're paying him this chart." And I go, "Take that chart and throw it in the garbage." "Well, we can't do that." I said, "Yeah, you can." I said, "If you don't, I'll hire Craig over here and he'll make twice as much tomorrow."
Right.
"Oh, we can't have that." So I said, "You ever hear the word stipend?" "What do you mean by stipend?" I said, "So your ag teacher can work all summer long and you can pay her $10,000 more, but you can't pay Craig."
Right.
"Oh, good idea." So we made Craig happy, made the school happy. Now, we got people enrolling in the Cardinal. We call it Varsity Shop because that's what it is. It's Varsity Shop. They're known for their manufacturing, their soft skills. Some high schools have athletic departments where they're good and win state every year. Well, this is Cardinal.
That's awesome. Yeah, I just talked with Chris earlier this week from Eagle.
Okay.
And I'd be very interested in a connection with Craig. I think it'd be a really neat episode to get those two on the podcast and talk about these student-run companies within these high schools. Let's get that connection made, if you would mind.
Oh, no problem. You better book about 2 hours though.
He's a chatty guy, huh?
Oh yeah, they're so passionate and fired up for their kids and their programs. It's amazing. And why can't we do this in all schools? The bigger the school, the worse it is.
Yeah.
It's just, we have another little thing we started now too. It's called SOS. And what it is we're sick of the government trying to grant money and all that stuff. There's a bunch of fluff, and you got these trailers and they don't work, and nobody's doing anything about it. So we got private money. We go out to people like us and other companies, and we all throw in the money in the pool, and we raised about $500,000, and now we're going to start paying the teachers ourselves to incentivize them. And every June we have them bring them in. We pay them $5,000 for 1 week to learn a project, how to run a machine, and we give them the curriculum, we give them the machine, and we throw it in their school. And talk about some very positive, happy teachers in our Northwest Wisconsin right now.
Yeah.
So, but that's going to lead to kids coming into manufacturing, and that's going to help build up the tech schools and the colleges, and that's what we need. But the government, they just turn a blind eye. Oh, we got to have a grant. We got grant 70% of a grant's fluff. We're going to spend 3 months talking about it in spreadsheets, and we made this all happen in a matter of months.
It's amazing how quick things can move. I'm very interested in trying to get something set up like an Eagle or like Cardinal here in Arizona. But like you said, the problem is instructors are hard to come by. But not only instructors, when you're talking about a business, you have to have somebody who can lead an organization. And for what instructors are making, teachers are making here, I'd be very interested in picking your brain on what we could potentially do here as additional measures to make these teachers or these people whole financially. So we'll continue that conversation afterwards.
Yeah,
I like it.
more.
So, Matt, tell us about how you strike a balance there at M.R.S. Between culture and innovation, or are they one and the same for you? Tell us a little bit more about that.
I think they're the same because we give, I'm very fortunate here. We have our 30 some machinists here, and 80% of them can set up and run their own jobs, and they have full control over it. I mean, they can run it, set it up the way they want to run it. They take ownership in it, and we have, of course, they have the backing of our. I always call these guys my insurance policy. The inspection, that's my insurance policy here. Make sure it's good. But when you give someone a hunk of material and a drawing and just tell them to figure it out, make it and get it done.
Yeah.
They that's instead of saying this is the way you're going to run it, this is the only way you're going to run it, this is how you have to do it.
Right.
And they see a better way, they can't do it. Well, that's not incentivizing anybody.
Yeah.
And so that's how. So these guys just become more than artists than they are scientists, and so that's how. And it's not just machining; it's in the office, it's in shipping, it's receiving, and it's in all those areas. So
that's wonderful.
And I just, we all try to get better. My goal here every day is to learn something new every day, and that's what I tell everybody else here. We got to learn something new every day.
That's great. So Matt, you've already shared with us your three things, your direction, right? Or was that a different three things? Your how you recruit and the three things you shared with us earlier. Or do you have an additional 3 initiatives that you want to share with us?
Nope. I think that's pretty much it. I say sign up, suit up, and show up.
I love it.
That's one of the ones I got. I start telling stories. That's another story, but I always compare things like the Christmas Carol, past, present, and future.
Okay.
This is where you were at. Here's where we're at today, and here's where we're going.
Yep.
And so I use the Christmas Carol theory.
I love it. Well, Matt, so what are some final parting thoughts that you have for the listeners? Culture, M.R.S., community involvement, employee related. What kind of final thoughts do you have for us today?
The first thing is people out there that are struggling, because things are getting tougher, and just keep your head up high. It's all going to work out. Just reach out to people. You have a problem, don't be scared. Go to somebody positive though. Look for a mentor, a motivator, a leader. Just don't take. I don't take no for an answer.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out. I'll find a way. Just be positive and just keep your head high. If you're looking for a job career or looking for a new place, M.R.S. is, we're happy to talk with you. We're always looking for good people. We're growing. We grow 15% a year.
That's great.
Anything over 15 gets a little out of control. I guess that's really all I have to say. Manufacturing is a great career. It's not dirty, grimy dungeon, and
yeah. We got to change that perception.
Exactly, and I think we're changing it. It's getting better around here, anyways. I don't know anywhere else, but around here it is for sure.
Yeah, it's starting to change a little bit, and now it's just. I think a lot of people have forgotten about manufacturing. It's no longer that there's a perception, at least in some of the students and parents I've talked to in the last 2 weeks. Um, it's not necessarily the perception that it's dark and dangerous and the negative perception. It's they don't even know that it exists as a career path.
Yep.
And so we gotta turn on the marketing juices and get this out there. um, well, Matt, I really appreciate you being on today. Thank you very much. Folks, that's a wrap on today's episode of the Manufacturing Culture Podcast. It was an absolutely electrifying ride we had with Matt Guse, the president of M.R.S. Machining. We've explored the ins and outs of company culture, learned how it has evolved over time, and discussed the role it plays in the success of a top tier machine shop like M.R.S. Machining. From community engagement to his sporting passions, Matt's unique perspective on company culture has been inspiring. If you want to dive even deeper into the world of manufacturing culture and hear more incredible stories from industry leaders, don't forget to visit our website at manufacturingculturepodcast.com. There's so much more to explore and learn, literally thousands of companies that we can talk to. So I never see this show ending because we can just keep talking to these great companies out there in this industry. But wait, there's even more. We need your help to keep the gears turning and spreading the word about the Manufacturing Culture Podcast. Share this episode with your friends, your colleagues, fellow manufacturing enthusiasts, and don't forget to rate and review the show on your favorite podcast platform. Your feedback and your support make all the difference in the world. It really drives us up the charts. So until next time, have a great day and keep making things.